All right, wall clock says 6:30, phone says 6:29 and a half. Let's get this meeting started. Okay, call the order. Roll call.
Klein,
Here.
Enoch,
Here.
Pujol,
Here.
Roder, Stagg,
Here. Approval of the agenda,
Motion approved.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. Public comment, we received,
That's-
no,
that's-
anything, that's all, sorry.
yeah.
We'll move that around. Anybody else have anything?
Just a question for you guys, I haven't been to all the meetings lately, I know the lease was agreed upon for the Grandic lot. So where are you guys at with that? Is it just getting quotes and stuff as far as building, or is it still kind of
So the lease starts July 1st, I believe it is, or,
July first?
Yeah. Mhm.
so,
There's no money in the budget this year for us to do that.
except for
So,
lease, isn't it?
yeah, except to just
Okay.
maintain the lease.
Maintain the property.
So the plan would be next calendar year to hopefully
Right.
budget.
In
this.
in January, when we have budget sessions, that's one of them.
So
Discuss what we can do there.
makes sense.
So basically, all we were doing this year's mowing.
And we just can,
So there won't be any access this year.
Not at this point.
well,
We really don't have anything set up there.
Yeah, the worry would be that we get somebody in there and they get stuck and tear it all up.
yeah,
Yeah,
We
I
don't know what's there
really-
yet.
Yeah, I really don't think we should open that up.
Unless you've got a dirt bike like Thomas. Then you can get in and out of there.
which should not be now on that property.
Yeah.
That is now say, or starting July 1st, that will be city lease property, so therefore we will have to monitor people that are accessing that appropriate.
We'll probably need to post some
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a good idea too. We probably have to post something here.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Approve, consent agenda items.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
So,
All in favor? Opposed? Event permit. Consideration for Swisher Men's Club for car show September 13th.
motion to approve, that permit.
All in favor? Opposed? Economic Alliance check request, Men's Group, payment of $3,500 in match community branding grant.
I got a question on that, please.
Valerie, is anyone?
A Shay is the only person online right now.
So what's your question there? Because I probably don't have an answer for either.
Well, are we now at the point where we're gonna do that, sorry, put, kind of the minutes from our September meeting, and I've just got some questions there. How much is this community branding grant worth?
They got they got $5,000.
Okay, now does that 5,000 include the 3,500 that we matched?
We haven't matched a dollar yet.
We're
We just told them we will match you in the future.
If they were.
If they get the grant.
And they did.
Yeah, I know, but aren't you asked, didn't they get the grant approved?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
grant was approved, yes.
So now it's like us just following it up to match it.
Right.
That we agreed to.
We already
in
approved
September.
this, it's
Yeah.
just that now they're like
So-
asking for the actual.
So the grant's for 5,000, right?
Yep.
And we're giving, and the city's giving them 5,000,
No,
No, 3,500.
3,500, okay.
So the total is 8,500, is that what you're saying?
Apparently, yes.
Because usually you said the grant's 5, but really, with what we put towards it is 8,500.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we have to give up we have to do the 3,500 to get the state's $5,000 grant.
Right. We had to match up to that
Yeah.
amount.
I think the other 1,500, if I'm reading this correctly, was to help get that logo designed.
Yeah,
And then any other money they have left over will be used for other signage.
okay. I thought somebody here explained, but, What kind of signs are they talking about?
There's a picture of, there's a picture of that. Look at that sign proof is the one.
See, I don't have, didn't get that.
Yeah, I had just gotten it today, so
Okay.
it wasn't online, but I included it. in
It looks
the
like that,
packet here.
Daryl.
Yeah.
Kind of if you
Yeah.
can.
I see, I got it.
Oh, you got it now. Okay,
He's
okay.
got it.
No, I-
Yeah.
Do you want me to do?
No, that's, I can read it.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't know if that's enough to get both installed, I would doubt.
But we gotta spend 1,500, the logo design, who does the logo design? We estimate.
That's already done.
Yeah, it's signs,
It's already been done.
whatever.
CR signs,
CR signs, that's what it
Okay.
is.
that's already been,
Yeah, the logo was designed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
last
I know, I
fall.
just curious, a little confusion, because it says that we gotta give 3,500 required to match the 5,000 community fund grant. It wants us. With the minutes read here that if I read it right, was. We've gotta give 3,500 required to match the 5,000.
we didn't have to do a full 5,000 match.
We're giving 70 cents to get $1.
Yep, sure.
Yep,
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying,
Alright.
yeah.
I didn't see the 8,000 anywhere.
And so I was just put this on the agenda because I didn't know if the council was okay
So-
with it. You know, I would need approval to cut that check before the end of the fiscal year.
And I would like to, know from them, like, does this 8,500 or 7,000, let's say, that is probably left over, is that enough to get one on both ends of town? If not, what is that price point to get there? Because I think it would look silly for us to just have it on one side of town and nothing on the other. We just need
I'm
a,
trying to remember when we talked about it, and at that time, if it was gonna be enough for both.
we were getting quotes on those signs earlier, and some of the quotes were 10,000 a sign.
Hmm.
For like big ones, when we started looking at branding years ago. So that's why I don't think 7,000 will touch one on both ends. And if so, I'd like to see if we could get creative with funds, like if they're gonna be doing this for us, why wouldn't we get two right away?
For now, though, since we'd already approved
Yeah,
the
yeah, let's
matching
just do the
funds, let's go
match.
ahead and take care of that.
Yeah.
And then, maybe find out.
Yeah, I think when Shelley gives
As
them
far
the
as the
check,
second.
you could just add, is this for both ends? If not, like, how much more money are we looking at? And it might not be something we can do this year. Might be next year.
On a future agenda.
Yeah, we just know, hey, we gotta set aside 6,000 or whatever
Right.
for next year just to finish it.
but we definitely don't have it in this year's budget, with everything going on, but maybe we do, but. Depending if it's all $1,000, or whatever.
Okay, so we need to have a motion for payment.
Motion we made. What was it, 3,000?
3,500.
Payment for the new signs.
Second.
All in favor?
Alright.
Against?
Make sure we get a bill from whatever's
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
costing, like an itemized bill, so you like what Cody says, if we know. Down the road, we don't have enough to do both signs, at least we know exactly what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Plus, I want an itemized bill on it anyway. Everybody say.
Kind of, because like, the city's just doing a match, like, they can spend that 5,000 how they see fit with the branding, if they want. Cause this is their project, if, let's say the sign only costs 5,000, they could take the remaining money and do other signage throughout town, that's not ours to do.
Right, we don't determine.
But we determined the 3,500 with the city.
Yeah, right, that's going for the sign.
Yeah,
But they were talking about entrance signs.
Yeah.
Usually, weren't they?
yeah, one on each end, I
Then I
think.
think they wanna do like some markers like downtown or eventually like, just to make it all a centralized theme and colors.
Number 8, solar report. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to talk to you again. I do apologize for the delay. We talked a few months back and we had gotten the bills and we started going through those. We got 4 sites that were potentially viable sites. One was City Hall, one was 59 Rose Avenue, and then the other one was the library. and then the wastewater treatment plant. Wastewater treatment plant, that gives us a bit of a challenge. That is on Alliance Large Demand Rate Code. I think we talked a little bit about that the first time I was here, where essentially they lower the rate down to like about 4 cents a kilowatt hour, and then they add a demand charge. So when you just install solar, all you're doing is you're offsetting that kilowatt hour charges, which is really low at 4 cents already. So it's really hard for it to make sense, and especially under a power purchase agreement, like we had talked about, there's no way to get a PPA rate down under that 4 cents. So I talked to Shelley, she had sent over some interval data, so that shows us every 15 minutes what that facility is using in kilowatt, not kilowatt hour. And we sent that off to a partner of ours in Colorado, they're called MuGrid. And what they essentially do is they are experts in batteries. So storage to manage demand charges. So they're evaluating that data to see if it's feasible. And then what we need to do is figure out if it's feasible to manage that demand with a storage component. How do we monetize the discharge of that to incorporate that into a PPA? So that's kind of where we are. They are a very small company. It's a 2-person company essentially. And so they've been working on a number of projects and they haven't gotten to this, but we do have a call scheduled this week to discuss this and one other project that we're looking at that's got kind of a similar situation. So what I brought tonight is really just looking at the 3 small sites. So the 59 rows, this building, and then the library.
I think that might be the streetlights. There's like a, right?
I don't know, it's just got an address on here. Usually on the bill, it will say lighting, and there's a different rate code for it. And we won't usually do street lights because there's no meter to attach
Actually,
to.
you know what? I think 59 Rose was this building behind that got torn down.
That's what I was.
Because this is Rose right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It was at the corner of the alley
Because we're showing
and
it's
Rose. Cause we're,
21.
Right, and my father.
was it a bank or something like that at one time? I thought I saw something about a bank. But I wouldn't think the city would own a bank.
no, we don't.
Okay,
So Mallory, you don't have the maps up, do you? I mean, I can. look.
It has to be
No,
that building we tore down.
I'm wondering.
That's 59.
and when was that torn down? Cause I think we had the bill.
59 Rose. Or was that last fall?
That wouldn't have enough lights to.
It's showing Central State Bank.
Yeah, exactly. That is like a, and I'm not good at these words, but a big, like tall silver box that operates, I believe, the lights on Division Street.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's.
well, if it's got a meter on it, it's potentially doable. I thought I saw something about bank, I'm like, what, a bank?
Yeah, well, no,
But the other one,
it sits right by the bank.
Okay,
the other one you'd be missing is 3rd Street for the Public Works.
okay, I don't know.
It would have been on there.
Okay, I'll double check. More about that one too.
Is this building Public Works?
That might be it, because we wouldn't have a meter on this building anyway, would we, the library, because that's not ours.
Right, no, we don't meter that building. We get billed directly from South Soul.
Yes, that's soft, so.
Okay,
Used.
I'm slightly confused as well. I will say Alliant does not do a great job, which you might know when you look at the
Yeah.
bills, the addresses, or even if they have an address on it, they're sometimes suspect. So we try to do our best guess and unless it's just out in the middle of nowhere. If it seems like it makes sense, we'll say, it's gotta be it. But what I'll do then is, I'll make a note on that as well, and we can relook at that. But I'll go through just really quickly this, just to kind of give you an idea, and then we can kind of tidy this up, but at least if we go through this, you'll have an idea of how to read it. And then I can just update this information and send it over to Shelley as we're getting, the demand data looked at. So this is 3 small meters. So again, the smaller the meter, the smaller the bill, the less, impact that has. But if we just look at that first page, this is if you were to purchase the arrays outright. We talked about a PPA, but this first page is just assuming that hey, the city's got 80 grand laying around that they want to throw at a solar project, which all small cities do, I know. But this just kind of gives you an idea of how that plays out. So if we go across that top line there, the weighted average of the cost of energy on those 3 meters was 17 cents, 17.04 cents. And the combined usage was about 40,000 kilowatt hours. The charges for that energy was $66.95. They're not on demand, so your total bill or total utility charges is $66.95. If we built arrays to offset those arrays based on the size that we could build in the given spots, would produce 39,595 kilowatt hours, so slightly more than what those use. We're not looking at a PPA on this, so there's nothing under the PPA stuff. The O&M and insurance, we just throw a number in there. There is a real cost to insure these. There's a real cost to maintain them. It's different across the board, so we usually use about a penny a watt to say that's just some it's a real expense, so we want to kind of reflect that in here. So that's that red line there. Your Alliant rate, is the 1704. You're not paying anything for the energy that first year because you're producing enough to cover it. So you end up actually with a first year savings of $6,748. We're offsetting 100% of that consumption. So we'll go down on the right side where it says yearly savings. If you track that all the way down to the bottom, over 25 years, that will save $239,976 in offsetting those utility bills over 25 years. The cost, and again, this is prelim cost. We haven't done any engineering work. We just looked at Google Earth and said, what do we need to offset here? But preliminary price about $80,000. So your net savings over 25 years on those, if you paid for these out of your pocket, would be $159,870. Okay.
What year can you buy out?
So this is assuming you're buying it in year one, but you're just writing a check out for these. So this is a cash purchase scenario here. The next page then is the PPA. So this is where you have a third party investor. They pay for the construction of the arrays. They own the arrays. They maintain the arrays. The city simply enters into a contract with them to say, we'll buy the energy being produced by those arrays at a rate lower than what Alliant's currently charging. Okay. So again, same type of scenario. If you look at that first, that top line there, your 17.04 cents is what you're currently paying for your energy. If you look at that current energy rate and go down that column, you can see that number goes up. So we use the national average of 3.8% for the increase year to year average increase in energy rates. If you've been watching the news at all, you'll know that there's a lot of things legislatively going on. The bill that's in the Senate right now is looking at taking away all incentives for solar or for renewable energy. There was an email that was, I don't know how it got in the hands of the Des Moines Register, but it was from Alliant Energy to Governor Reynolds that they were saying if that incentive gets pulled out of that bill, if they get rid of the solar incentive, the rates for Alliant Energy will go up about 15% because they're building renewable, they're building wind, they're building solar. If they don't have that incentive there, it's gonna cost them a lot more to build that stuff. And how do they get their money? They get their money from ratepayers. So they were expecting that to go up about 15%. There was also another article that was written that was talking about data centers. So you hear about new data centers coming up and they take a tremendous amount of energy. So they were saying somewhere between 9 and 11% increase in rates once, over the next few years here as these data centers come online. So we're using 3.8%, which I think it is the national average, but I think it's fairly conservative again, given the landscape that we're in today. So, so again, that number, as you go down that column there, that's going up about 3.8%. Your usage is the same, your bill is the same. The produced kilowatt hours from the array is the same. The difference here is the PPA rate. So if you look at the PPA rate of 15.3 cents a kilowatt hour versus the 17 cents that you're currently paying, that's a savings of about 12, little over 12%. There's no cost of maintenance, no cost of insurance. We carry everything over that first year savings, $637, because the savings that the city is giving is the difference between the PPA rate and the current Alliant rate. So you might say, well, $637 isn't a whole lot to get excited about, but again, you're not taking any money out of pocket to do that, and year by year by year, that amount grows to the tune of over 25 years, you'll have an extra $48,000 in savings. No cost to the city. After 25 years, if you want, you can call the investor and say, come and get your stuff and pick it up. City doesn't want it anymore. You haven't spent a penny other than buying the energy at that discounted rate. Or you can buy the arrays at that point, which is about 5% of the original cost of the arrays. So you're looking at about $4,000 after that 25 years. And the modules have a 30-year production warranty. So even after 25 years, you still have warranted equipment at that point. So again, that's if you carried this thing out a full 25 years. Didn't pay for anything up front, you carry it out 25 years, you end up not buying it in the end, that's what you're looking at.
Is there any chance for them to pull out before the 25 years?
No, they own it.
Yeah.
They would lose money if they pulled out of it, because their revenue stream is you buying that energy. They're taking the tax incentives, so that's how they make themselves right.
And
So
if they would pull out, we just go right back on the line.
yeah, the worst thing that happens is you pay what you're paying a light today. So that's a kind of worst case scenario there. So you had asked earlier, when can we buy these things out? So legally, after year 7 of being in a PPA, you can buy them outright. The investor has to hold on to it for 7 years to take full advantage of the tax credits and depreciation and everything. After that, the city can buy them out, and there's a calculation that we use to come up with the purchase price. And my simple mind, what we do is we say, well, what would have you paid for the energy from the time that you buy it out to year 25? And then you put a discount factor, I think it's like 6%, that becomes the purchase price, because you're buying it today versus keeping it for 25 years. The investor gets the cash up front. So the next page on here is an example of if the city just bought these things out in year 10. And so we have a lot of communities that do that. They'll say, well, we don't have any money budgeted today, but if we start budgeting now for 10 years from now, then we don't have to dip into our coffers to make that purchase. And it really does make a pretty big difference. So again, that top line is identical to the other two that we looked at there. It's the same as the 25-year PPA with that first year savings at $637. You'll notice here, though, when we get down past year 10, under the O&M and insurance column, it goes red, because that's where we're saying, okay, the city's purchasing that. Now they do have real cost of ownership, they've got insurance costs, they've got maintenance costs, so we want to add something in there to reflect that. But if you carry over to that right column, you can see here in year 10, the savings you received that year was $1,451. In year 11, it was $8,707. And we carry that down. Over 25 years, the city will have saved $177,167. To purchase those arrays in year 10, it's $47,250. So you have a net savings of $129,000, almost $130,000 there. And again, what that does is, but you're not entering into anything saying you are buying it in year 10. You have the option to buy it in year 10. And again, a lot of the communities I talk to, they say, well, we'll start budgeting for that. And if 7 years down the road, something comes up, you've got to roof a building that you weren't expecting to, you got to buy a police cruiser, you've got some expense that came up that you weren't expecting. If you want, you can dip into this and cover that expense. And instead of buying it in year 10, you buy it in year 12 or 14, or you don't buy it at all. That's always an option for the city. So I kind of went through things really quick here. I need to do some homework on my side, and Shelley, I'll get with you to confirm those. I did want to kind of go through this just so you can kind of understand how this is laid out. And then I can update these with Shelley as well. The wastewater treatment plant, we ran just a quick model on that. That one has a purchase price, just preliminary price of a little over $500,000. So if we can get that incorporated in here, obviously that's your biggest bill. So if we can lower that by 15%, that's got a much bigger impact than these small ones here as well. The challenge that we're up against is, number one, determining whether or not the way that Alliant does its demand billing. It's kind of hard because they have a really long on-peak window. And especially on a water treatment plant, your load's pretty, you're not way ups and way downs month to month to month. That's usually pretty stable, unless something's going on to change that. So it becomes harder to make the demand work with storage because you're dealing with a more stable load. You don't have big spikes that we can say, okay, we're gonna focus our efforts here. So that's why we're having this company out in Colorado review all of that. They're a very smart pair. It's a husband and wife ownership. He has his PhD from MIT. He came up with the NREL calculations that we all use in the solar industry. She's got a lowly master's degree from MIT. She worked for NASA. So these guys are pretty smart people. But step one is determining if there's something there. If there is, then we got to take the steps to figure out, okay, how does this PPA work with a storage component in it? But again, as I was telling Shelley, that's not gonna be an answer this week. This could be several weeks down the road that we're looking at that. So I'll get the right information here on this and I'll send the updated reports. And there's nothing that keeps the city from saying, well, yeah, we want to do these couple of projects now. And then, if that gets figured out and that works, we just incorporate that into the same PPA. And where, depending on where it falls, the rate just matches the rate that the PPA is in at that time.
Are these mounted on the roofs? Where do you put the solar panels?
Yeah, so on the 3 meters that we were looking at, they were on the roof themselves. Water treatment plant, that would be a ground array.
My question, 10 years from now, need to be re-roofed.
Yep.
Whose expense is it to remove these solar panels to re-roof it?
Yeah, that would actually be on the city. So the cost to remove it and to reinstall it would be on the city. The cost of doing that is not very much, especially smaller scale ones like this. If we were looking at a 100 kilowatt thing on a big roof, expense is a little bit more. This would be like me doing it on my house. So you're probably looking at less than $1,000, I would guess. And again, if that's today, if it's 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I couldn't predict the future there, but the cost is pretty minimal. So when you think about the cost savings, the balance, even if you have that expense in there, it's not gonna move the needle much on your savings.
Now,
Your
would we
overall
have to
savings.
have, would we have to have insurance on those too then, like say storm comes through and?
So under the PPA, the investor owns the array, so they would insure the array. Any damage from a storm, anything like that, that's the investor to take care of.
Plus the panels extend the life of the ceiling or the roof or they're covering, so that offsets some of that stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on a asphalt shingle roof, the 2 things that damage that is sun and hail. And if you've got panels on there, those are the 2 things that you're keeping away from it. The panels themselves are very durable. There's videos of these things taking a 1-inch hailstone at 200 miles an hour with no damage to the panels. Normal weather type of things, not an issue. We get another derecho, we get baseball size hail, those will crack them. But that's, again, under the PPA, the investor fixes that. The investor is motivated to fix that because if the panel isn't producing as much as it should be producing, that hurts the investor because obviously that's their cash flow through the period. So they're I don't know if under a PPA, if we've ever had to We did. We had one out in Piasta where, some kids ended up busting a panel on the Child Development Center out there. And the investor was very quick to do it because again, they got insurance for it. They're gonna jump right on it because they don't want to lose out on their cash flow.
I guess personally for me. Rerun the numbers, we need to figure out 59 because
Mhm.
at the same time, even if that is metered. I don't know where we'd put even a ground array, cause I know we couldn't do a rooftop array there because it's the bank's building, so that probably has to come off. But then you factor in the array that would be required at the city building. But for me, like. I put solar on my house 2 years ago, it's a no-brainer to me. I mean, even if we could save the city at 130,000. And looking at that buyout price of 47, we could easily budget over a 10-year period, 5,000 a year. That'd be easy to tuck away, and as he said, if we ever get an emergency and have to use 20,000 of it. We'll just buy it out a couple years later and the buyout price also goes down, so.
And again, the rates that we're using for Alliant rates, I think are likely to be rather conservative given the new that Alliant has right now with they already announced last year that there was a rate increase this year, which you probably are experiencing. And I think there's another one scheduled for it's either next year or the year after. That's not taking into account any of the stuff that's going on with this bill in the Senate right now. So
Yeah, it was 3 increases in 18 months.
and a couple of years ago, they announced we had this one increase and we're not doing it for 5 more years. Right up until they've got a guaranteed profit. So that they're not going to not be as profitable as they're guaranteed, so someone's paying that and it's all of us. Any other questions for me at all?
I think that 59 address is the bank.
Okay. Well, I'll get with you, Shelley. We'll figure out exactly where these are, and I'm not sure why Public Works wasn't on here. That seems odd to me that. But I'll double check that, make sure that we got it.
It's all built, again, it's all built on one,
Yeah,
yeah,
and Alliant would have sent us everything, so.
they should have, right?
That building, we don't have it air conditioned, is it?
Just the office area.
Yeah.
So I'll jump on that. I'll get with you. We can coordinate that. I'll get these updated. And then I can kind of keep in touch with you too on, what we're hearing from you grid, if that's something they say, oh yeah, this is a perfect scenario. We can do this. Probably makes sense then to look at this as a whole. If they say, well, this is gonna be weeks or a few months, then we can kind of look at what we have today.
Okay.
The next step in our process would be, we would come out and site assess all of the locations. Look at the electrical infrastructure. If it's roof, we look at the roof. We get all the information you need to put together construction price. And then we would redo all of these and say, okay, this is what things look like if you chose to do it today. That's the PPA price, or that's purchase price, or whatever the case might be.
So what do you need from us at this point?
Nothing for you. I want to make sure that we get updated things here. I'll coordinate that with Shelley. Once we say, yeah, we've got all the right information here, then if you guys say, hey, yeah, come out and site assess, doesn't cost anything for us to do that. That's really more for us to make sure we're doing our due diligence on making sure we've got the right price that goes to the investor. So at that point, you guys say, yeah, just let's get it site assessed. We'll do that. We'll put together the reports again, and then we meet with the council with the kind of final numbers. Okay. Any other questions for me at all?
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, next item is number 9, base company update for 141 Orchard. Can you help in that? Yeah.
Yeah, take it.
A lot of this is before my time, so whatever you have to fill in.
Mike, you had talked to
Yeah.
the property owner, right?
Yeah. I have talked to Kathy Durbin, and she is again, concerned because, matter of noise coming from a neighbor who is basically back doing his business out of his driveway that he was before. And, I think sometime last, was it in the fall?
October.
We had to deal with this. I guess it's back on the agenda because of this complaint that was filed with City Hall. And when I talked to her, she said it's kind of like it was back there. A lot of noise keeps her up. Always different times in the evenings too. She wants to know if there's something that can be done about it.
Well, I don't wanna sit and waste all of our time again and have like a 45-minute conversation like we did last time.
I don't
because
either.
We do not have in the ordinance on, we found that out about noise levels. But what we do have is the way that it is zoned and we cannot run a business, which clearly that is what it's looking like at this point. You guys can argue it all you want, but last time you said there was a lot of home renovations. That'd be a long time of home renovations. So I guess for me, I just look at, we resend this letter to see if it changes things. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, then we follow up with further action. And I don't know if I have to talk to the city attorney regarding this.
Yeah, I think I forwarded him an email today. And all of the information that was in the packet, but I think he was gone. He's been gone on a trip, so. Yeah, I haven't heard anything
So
back.
I guess for me at this time, I think we send the same exact letter. Restating it to you guys, and that's the first step that we can take. I mean,
Yeah, at this point in time, like what you said, we've went through our codes, what we have on the books. That's where we start. And since it's been almost a year, not quite a year,
9 months.
I guess we're back to square one.
Last time we spoke to you, you mentioned about you're gonna remedy the problem by you rented some space over here, you're gonna do some work over there. Is that still being done over here? Okay. I think you told me that time that you had a couple spaces rented to do the work, but so you're doing that in your backyard now? That building is full of mold. What? That building is
This
full of
building
mold.
is,
That's why I'm not over.
but you're still running business in your driveway and trying, or any business in my driveway.
so what is this complaint?
Yeah.
That's the noise one.
I have no idea.
You're not doing any cutting or grinding or throwing metal around or anything?
I mean. The other day I made a. Shelf for my gazebo. And I cut and. Attached that to my gazebo. I mean, that home repair stuff. It's not against code.
So you're not picking up any scrap metal and working on your property.
I did pick up scrap metal throughout town.
Well, the complaint's coming from somewhere. I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't live next to you or anything, so I don't have a clue what's going on, but obviously, if she's seeing cutting and grinding and loading up trailers and stuff, there's gotta be, it's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. I mean, bottom line, I mean, I don't know what the,
I don't even know what she said or what the email said or anything.
I mean, as far as her,
I have no. I don't know what the report was, I don't know anything. I'm just your observer.
Well, there's your email, you wanna look at it, or you just have a copy of what you're being accused of.
I just know 9 months ago, we saw the pictures. And
We did.
one of the things you guys tried to state is, oh, we're doing a lot of home repairs. Even though
Yeah.
there was like 3 fridges. We took it for granted, all we did was send a letter, they got remedied. Now are here 9 months,
And we're going through this.
we're kind of on good faith, but now we're here 9 months hearing the same exact things. We can all say it's not happening, but when there's posts on Facebook of you picking up scrap metal that people can see, and I know you picked up scrap metal in town, that now becomes a business,
It's not a business, it's a hobby.
a hobby.
Where does it say that that's a business?
Well, I
Picking
don't
up
think,
scrap metal.
I don't think you're just collecting it in your driveway. Like you have to do something with it then.
But that goes for anyone that picks up scrap metal and takes it in for. I mean, there's other people here in town that do it as well.
Yeah, but they're not doing it in their, cutting stuff up in their driveway. I mean, Kyle Wagner owns a scrap business, but he lives 20 or 10 miles away from here out in. I mean, it sounds like a scrap business to me. I mean, it sounds like you're picking up scrap and taking it in for the money. That's not, I mean, that's not really a hobby. That's a business.
I just think at this point, we resend the letter, contact the city attorney to see what can be done, what cannot be done, and then we'll move on from there. Yeah. There's no reason to sit and debate what's actually happening. So, motion to resend a letter similar to what was previously sent November 25th of 2024.
And to contact Mark.
Yeah, city attorney, guys.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Move on to resolution 27-2025. For jurisdictional hazard migration plan
Hazard mitigation.
mitigation,
Yep.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
And this is to,
Yep. This is to be included in the Johnson County hazard, well, yeah, obviously make the jurisdictional. So schools are involved, other cities are involved in Johnson County. In the event that, you know, a disaster happens, then first thing FEMA asks, do you have a hazard mitigation plan? You gotta prove that you do. It didn't cost us anything. I believe Johnson County gets some type of grant. It includes us in it, and so this is just a resolution that we're adopting it as our plan as well.
So we have prepared a multi-hazard mitigation.
We were included with the
On the
Johnson County.
Johnson County.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Motion, we move resolution 27-2020.
Second.
All in favor?
This
Oh,
is
this is a roll call, sorry.
Klein,
Aye.
Keenick,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Resolution 28-2025, approving wages for fiscal year 2026, beginning July 1st, 2025, ending June 30th, 2026.
So we got motion here, Elizabeth, but there's some not available.
yeah,
So the library is what,
I didn't
So-
get those yet.
so they work under a different. What, how'd she put that?
Well,
But they work under the board.
they have a
Their
board.
Yeah, they're funded
Yeah.
by the board pretty much.
Well, the city funds,
We fund,
But they're.
But they're-
controls their money.
they're directed by a
Board
board, right? And so, Laura also is on vacation and I believe she's back Wednesday. So I just told her I was gonna go ahead with what we have. And then this can come back in July as like 28-2025-02 with the other ones included. Unfortunately, your next council meeting, I think, is July 14th. And we get paid on July 11th. Mallory, can you help me out with those dates? Can you see calendar in front of you?
Mhm.
I think our next pay day is July,
11.
yeah, okay, 11th. So when these go into effect on July 1st, I'll pay most of the employees at their regular rate, and then with the next payroll run, I'll retroactive whatever the libraries are to those hours in July. Or are we just getting a beep, beep, beep? Do I
Yeah,
hear?
that's my phone going off.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Just talk to me.
We agree.
I thought I was getting a warning.
I haven't gotten it.
Actually, a few hours
Okay,
back.
okay. Anyway, yeah, so
Motion to approve resolution 28-2025.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Enoch,
Aye.
Pujol.
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Ordinance 19-2025. City code chapter increasing monthly solid waste collection fees.
yes, second reading.
This is the second reading.
Second reading. Okay,
Motion to place ordinance 19/2025 on second.
second.
Roll.
Puccio,
Aye.
Stagg,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Next one's golf carts on Division Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ro,
sure,
before we move, so
Yep.
this has to go through a third reading, right?
yeah, it should, yeah,
Even though the effect will take place before the third reading?
what do you
Which
mean,
would
the
be the
effect,
meeting
well,
in
The
July.
third reading will be July.
Yeah. yeah, but as you see,
Oh,
we're still
okay.
running through
Oh,
July
yeah, yeah,
31st
okay.
of 2025 at that 18.
Okay, yeah,
So the new rate of 19 doesn't go
Oh,
into effect until
August,
August first,
okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Cause we're not changed over until,
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
just it,
July.
you know, it has to be published
Yeah.
and signed for it to be effective too, so,
But it's even after the,
yeah,
it's only going up 50 cents.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah. Mhm,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay,
mhm.
I just wanna make sure I was right. too.
Yep. And some information will go out on the back of the, June 30th. So we're going paper bill on June 30th. Hopefully with IT calls me back. And all that information is gonna be on the back. And then I'll have Mallory post some of that information as well.
One last thing, are we all set for N taking over
And
August first, or was it August
that,
first?
that is their plan. I've been in communication with
Okay.
them and that.
I didn't know if there was any delay on the barrels or anything
No,
like
they
that.
said that they'll have them to go in effect August 1st. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
so.
You're gonna make sure that like,
Oh, yeah.
on the
What's
city
your-
website and the Facebook thing.
Mhm.
I'll get you
Just to
some
get them
info.
out to the
Yep.
thing, because like a lot
Yeah.
of them don't go on the Facebook, they
Yeah.
might go on.
Yeah,
We'll have to push something big.
What's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
what's the date that they're gonna drop off the new car?
We don't know.
They don't know that yet.
They don't know.
Yeah,
that
I'm not,
Cause
that's why I'm not giving it
Also
out.
have to have a pickup date for our old ones.
Right.
Yeah, well, we've already notified in our 60-day term letter that basically, Johnson County's last pickup is, and again, I can't see the calendar, the little calendar. The last Tuesday is July, what, 30th
Last Wednesday.
or Wednesday, I'm sorry.
The
Yeah.
30th.
Okay,
30th.
so the instructions said that they had, like, pick up immediately after that and have them all picked up by August 15th.
So we don't just leave them out there the last time though, right? They-
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yes, you
Yeah,
will.
you do.
Yes, you
Okay.
will.
Just leave them up.
After that July 30th collection by Johnson County. Leave your card out there.
Okay, and they'll come by and get
They'll
them.
come and
Again,
collect
that
them.
was the instruction in their
Okay.
60-day termination notice, so,
Hopefully we don't get any high winds,
yeah.
blowing them all over. the
Will
place.
also be the first time to collect everything.
And just, I
You
think
would think that they'd wanna get out of it right away.
I communicated that NNN is collecting on Monday, so the first collection by NNN would be August 4th,
Yes.
if I'm remembering correctly, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, okay.
so there might be some overlap that you have 4 cans versus 2 cans,
Yeah.
all
We'll
right?
get it all figured out.
Exactly,
Yeah, I'm not gonna post it all.
Better to have 4 than none.
that's right.
Okay, 13, golf carts on Division Street.
Okay. I had this put on the agenda because I've noticed, and it's not just recently, but it's been the last year or so. There seems to be a lot of people that don't read the signs on Division Street that says golf carts are not allowed. Or I should say, this is what the sign actually reads. Not allowed golf cart travel on Division Street. And I believe there's only like 2 signs out there.
I think that's all I've seen, and are they mostly on this
So just on this end.
end,
part,
right?
Cause you can go across.
Yeah,
So it is an issue, and it's a safety issue. Because that's where the most traffic runs through this town, and there's people that run down Division Street doing way over the speed limit, which is another issue.
I'll agree with you on that.
We need better signage. We need more signage, I think, to tell these people that they can cross Division Street. But they shouldn't be running up and down Division Street.
maybe we should post the code.
What do you, is it allowed like, you know how the park goes around like this?
You can.
Is it allowed to go out there and then duck in right by Central States Bank.
No,
See, that's where I draw, I mean, I don't care, it is what it is, but the most dangerous spot to cross is that spot right there. It's coming up over that hill, so we're gonna allow people
you
to,
mean up on Summit.
yeah, whatever, that, yeah, Summit. So you're gonna allow people to cross there, which is the most dangerous spot in town for a park or for a golf cart to go across. But you're not gonna allow them to go a half of a block down that
Yeah.
road to go in.
But it has more to do with the way the law is written. The UTV, if it's licensed, can run up and down the road. Golf cart can't.
Because our code.
Golf carts, actually, you can.
Not-
Yes, I called at the DNR when we had a golf cart and they said as long as it has all of the same things as it's considered an ATV if it's registered. So yes, if it is
Okay.
registered with the state, it could be used as an ATV on gravel roads, side roads, whatever, just not highways.
Well, I'm telling you right now, when I go up to the park with my grandkids on the golf cart, I'm more nervous crossing right
Mhm.
there. I would rather just come down, be able to come out here, especially now that this road is way wider than what it used to be. Come down a half a block and get on there, because every time I'm up there and I go across there, I'm freaking nervous. So if we're all in this about the safety of everybody, the safety that's the worst freaking, that's the unsafest spot in
Well,
town.
I'm
And then
not-
if you're talking about the speed and everything on here, if we're worried about the speed and it being a throughway and everything, have you ever seen how
Swisher
fast
View
people
Drive.
drive down Swisher View
It
Drive
is-
Yeah.
around the
I have-
sewer, the plant and everything? So if this is all about the safety of everybody in town, let's,
What this is about is just the issue that we have it in the book on the codes that they are not supposed to drive on.
That's
Division
correct.
I
Street.
agree. What's your solution?
It's just, what I suggested is maybe we need better signage.
We have signs.
We have 2 signs out there,
I know, but
but I'm
where
just saying,
people are driving are literally mainly right here. I'm driving around all summer too. You don't see many golf carts going all the way down Division.
no,
You
but
don't.
you see them darting out and going up a block or 2 blocks.
I agree.
And then
And
around.
there's signs right there. That's where the signs are, is up on that end, correct?
Okay, but what I'm saying is obviously they're either not seeing them or they don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
So that's where I go to you. What is your solution? We could make a billboard and they're still gonna do it. The only thing is to maybe request a police patrol if you
Well,
see
maybe that's
cars
what- maybe
driving
that's what-
down.
Maybe that's what we need to do is ask the sheriff.
He's only gonna
He's
stop a
sitting-
couple of them.
And I think
All
that's
it
the
would
thing.
take, all it would take is to stop 1 or 2.
Right.
And cite them or something for being out there.
Mhm.
There's our solution.
Why are golf carts any different than bicycles going across there?
Well, bikes can ride right down the damn road.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
I mean, yeah, if we're all about the safety of it, the road is wider now than it's ever been, so a golf cart could actually get off to the side a little bit. If you guys are telling me that they're riding down this road here, if that's the problem, that road is wider and safer than half the streets in Swisher.
Well, let me ask you this though, Kurt. What you're saying is, they should be allowed to run up and down Division Street.
As much as they should be, yep.
I mean,
So if you have 10 golf carts out there going up and down Division Street all day long, and you got cars that come in through town and they're doing 50 mile an hour coming down Division Street, what do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know, why do you allow it on Swisher View Drive and every other street in here in town? They can drive all around, they can drive all around.
Speed's posted there just. like it is
Exactly,
on
exactly, you're not
Division
worried about Swisher View Drive.
I
Are,
got,
are you gonna stop them from driving
Well,
Swisher View Drive?
maybe we should add Swisher View Drive to the code.
okay,
To not drive.
go sit in my yard someday on that Swisher Drive, and there's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign on
Yeah.
it. And I've seen Johnson County deputies go way over that.
Yeah.
I had a motorcycle the other day, I swear, he was doing 80 miles an hour. He started at the top of the hill and he roared down there and I was waiting for the crash because I wasn't gonna go down and help him because he deserved it. Then I heard him, then I heard about a half hour later, he was over on the old dump road. He had a real loud motorcycle. Now he had to be doing 80 miles an hour coming down that, and I got cars doing 40 and 50 all the time coming down there.
I mean, I think,
I'm bringing this up because I think it's been an issue for a while.
well, I mean, it's been the same ordinance since we started running golf carts.
Right.
We've never had an accident, God bless, and
So, yeah,
15
so
years.
far. we've
but
been
what I'm
fortunate.
saying is, this is a problem where we can sit here and talk in circles, you can add more signs, it isn't gonna stop people. Okay, I'll be the first one. I'm on city council and I will go that quarter block because I do feel safer with my kids going that quarter block and
I do
dumping them.
too. I do
If
too.
we, now, if I'm running all the way down, I could see where we do have issues with that, with, you know, vehicles coming through. Maybe I'd debate that a little with you, I don't know, but what I'm saying is we can sit here and talk in circles. But I think we could notify the deputies and just say, hey, if you see golf carts going down there,
If nothing else, at
stop
least
them
pull
and
one over.
pull them over, say something. But then we could also,
But I-
since it is summer, maybe we just throw a post out saying, hey, quick reminder, golf carts, cause this is the time of year.
That's a good
Don't run them
idea
down.
too.
Mhm.
I'm with that too. Maybe we ought to put something out on Facebook or whatever
This
and
afternoon,
remind people. Golf carts are not, per code, are not supposed to be going up and down Division Street.
But
people have to use a little common sense. Today I had to stop for a little girl with roller skates going down the middle of the summit. Right, going out, scooting down and looking over her shoulder, me right down the middle of the street. So I just go slow. I mean, all right.
But
But people
the
gotta-
thing-
they
the
gotta
thing
use
about it
some
is,
common
if
sense.
we're all worried about the safety of everybody and somebody getting hurt. We should allow people to dart that little quarter of a block to jump it down into town then, because that's way safer than crossing up there on.
Well, maybe what the solution for that particular area is, if you wanna allow golf carts to go that little jog. Maybe we ought to put a sign out there, both coming from both ways. Golf cart zone, so drivers. Will realize that there are slow moving.
Cause the biggest problem
Vehicles
is we
there.
can't do anything to actually stop traffic at that intersection.
I agree
I'm
with
not
I agree
talking
with
about,
that.
I
The-
don't think you can stop driving, but.
Alerting
With
traffic
gas.
that there's golf carts. Because. I know I'm not the council, but just a comment from the public. Um. Like you said, cars go so fast. I live on Swisher View Drive. They go so fast down that road and we live right on the corner and our kids, we don't even let them play in our driveway anymore because you just never know. There's been car chases, there's been crazy stuff happen. But all of the speed limits in this town are the same.
They're 25 miles an hour everywhere.
So
you
what
have
does it
posted,
matter?
It doesn't matter.
If they're on Division going 25, Swisher View going 25, this road going 25, I've seen cars fly past here.
And
there's no car.
DOT will tell you if you wanna do a study, be very careful, because when you want something lowered. If the average speed, say it's posted 25 and the average speed is 35, their recommendation will tell you, you need to raise your speed limit 30 to 35.
I think alerting drivers that they're slow moving vehicles right there would be more beneficial than not
How do you
allowing
get
it at
that on
all.
a sign? I don't know.
Caution,
Just
slow moving vehicles,
caution.
there's like
I mean,
caution
people-
here
You
signs.
go like northern Iowa, there's like tractor crossing signs and stuff.
Well,
You can
like,
have a sign that's got a golf cart on it saying caution golf cart,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something to that effect, but I'm just.
Cause I feel.
I'm just saying something.
Slow moving kid.
there's literally a bunch of signs online that say.
So I would
golf
say,
carts.
yeah, maybe we do that coming in, but I don't wanna rewrite the ordinance and say, hey, it is approved to go to the
No,
bank.
no,
Because then people are going to slowly stretch that out and start running all division.
exactly.
If a couple
So-
people do it and police
So we
don't
could
stop
get
them, we can do
Two
it.
signs, one at either end. Of,
Yeah, put the signs up there, but allow it, because Cody and me both know that when I've got my grandkids on the golf cart, I guarantee I feel a whole lot safer jumping down a quarter of a block, jumping onto this road and going back home than I do crossing that freaking, you can't see up over that hill half the time.
Mhm.
Well, I
And
do
they're
agree-
flying,
I
by the
agree.
time they get up there, they're slowing down from 55 to 25 or 55 to 30 to go through town.
Well, I know because of the pedestrian crossing we got up there too, we put those lights and everything up there. But even with that, I still worry, somebody's gonna get hit by how many people come into town speeding.
oh yeah,
And I figured one of these days it's gonna happen.
Well, that's the problem. There's nothing we can actually do to stop it.
Right.
I mean, we've talked and I said, let's put a stop sign there. And they said, you can't. There.
okay, so do we have a direction we wanna head?
Did you get all that?
I think,
I think,
We're gonna do a post, we're gonna,
sign, right, add slow moving golf cart signs between Rose and Central, do I have that right?
yeah, I would say probably at the corner of Rose heading east and then
Right.
coming into
and
town heading
Central
west.
going.
Right, Rose and Central.
Mallory can shoot a quick little post out, send a reminder,
On both, right?
and
Yeah, thanks, Mallory.
What?
No, it's-
Whispering in my ear something different now.
So Rose is here at the bank, right?
Yeah,
on Division, yeah, like at the corner of Division and Rose.
Central's my street. They'd be the one past that,
Well,
for those,
well-
that little
They're
section.
coming down the road.
What is it?
It's gonna be from Rose, it's gonna be
No,
Rose
you
to
don't,
Summit.
you don't
Yeah.
post it at Summit, you put it on Central,
that's what I thought I heard.
right before Central, because that's
I would
where
put it
these
right
guys are
straight out
talking.
here before the bank, put
Yeah.
one,
Right.
and then
That's
one
Rose and
coming,
Division,
yeah,
Right.
put it right at Rose
Central.
Division.
got
And
it?
then the other one, you would put on the outside of town coming into
Yeah.
town.
So that's.
So that they're slowing down so that they
Oh,
they
for
know
the-
that that's.
for some-
On the other side of the hill.
Yeah,
I would say even before Summit, like as
Okay,
far
well,
out as we
that's-
can take that sign, take it out there.
yeah.
Because you don't want it right at Summit where it's like, hey, slow moving as,
Yeah.
that's where it is.
Right.
Close to where the.
Give them
flash-
time to get slowed down and be
I
watching.
guess I don't know how that works with city signage on,
As long as we can keep it on our own.
yeah. So I think, you know, get it out there.
That's our road, we pay
Yeah.
for
Well,
it.
let's look at what we can get for signage to do that.
Let's communicate with public
But
works.
let's also, like we said, let's communicate out there for people to keep, you know,
Or else I'm ordering other signs for the park. Okay. Trees on Division Street for number 14.
okay, I also put this on the list. For the Division Street project, we put trees along there. As of now, I went up and down it. There's about a half a dozen trees that are either dead or pretty much on the last leg. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up and see what you guys thought. What we should do with those, remove them, maybe replace them, or just remove them, or what?
Tear 'em out,
Tear 'em out.
tear 'em out and wait. That was,
Somebody's supposed to water them and nobody's watered them.
Well, to me, you know, when you're driving up and down there and you're seeing dead trees,
it looks
it's not,
terrible.
it's not very.
No, yeah, we need to tear them out, but I mean, maybe someday that was gonna look great and everything, but one. Those trees half the time were blocking signage and all sorts of stuff.
They will be if they're not being trimmed.
Yeah, and the thing about it too is in my opinion, there was too many trees put up there. So if us taking 6 of them out that are dead, that might even actually help the other trees to not die. I mean, you know, and I don't think we need to replace them. I've got so many people that's complained about how many
Yeah.
freaking trees we put up there.
That's why I'm bringing it up,
Yep.
because we got dead ones along here and I just soon.
We got a
because
lot
they're all
bigger
removed.
tree issues to worry about over the next 5 years, probably.
Those aren't very big trees anyway, are they?
No, they're only this big
I
around.
think maybe in 5 years, once we fix this ash tree problem and removing the ones we need. We could start looking at, all right, where do we need to start putting some trees back in this town? And we could slowly start planning
I
on
think-
that.
But not so close to that road, because the road trees
Right.
will grow out where
Yes.
as much.
And they've gotta be trimmed.
If they got nobody to pull them out, I got a tractor with a tree
It was the
pull everyone.
worst design I've ever seen.
Huh?
That's my opinion too. I wasn't gonna say that, Cohen, but that design of that whole thing with that many trees and then where are them trees gonna grow? They're gonna grow over the freaking top of the road half the time. I think it's a blessing to pull 6 of those trees down.
If the city will put their vehicle with flashes, I'll be glad. I can pull every one of those trees.
That's
It's no time.
Right.
I just think, yeah,
Take them out of my
we have
yard,
these
too.
beautiful streetlights.
It's junk.
Well, I'm just saying, let's cover them with trees now.
I got a adapter fits on the back of the pot, 3-point hitch and pull it right out.
All right, I'll get that going and get those out of
Let
the.
me know, let me know before I sell the house, because I sold everything with it, so I still own it, yet the longest one.
So you got like a month.
Okay, move on to number 15, updated ash tree list. We got,
I
we
I
can, we can
think
table.
I
that.
understand, as I understood looking at the minutes, that I think, help correct me if I'm wrong, so the list. HR Green provided the list. And it was supposed to be updated and reviewed to see what was taken out, what's still on it that's dead by Public Works.
Yeah, but what you
Am I-
said, what you said, you didn't tell me anything.
So,
Yeah, I just said,
No,
what
that's not your fault.
The list,
I said what I.
No, but I said you didn't tell me.
the list that's on this
Does.
agenda though, isn't that the whole list of?
Yeah,
it
those
is.
three
It's the
things?
same list we saw.
It
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
What,
It
what
hasn't
we
been
wanted,
updated.
what we were
Okay.
asking for is,
It's been deleted, get it off the list.
yes,
Swear.
we want a condensed list of
Right.
what's left.
I have, like I said, I don't think Melissa gave us anything, Melissa from HR Green.
Yeah, this is it.
So that's her new one?
No, I think
That's
Public
the same.
Works was supposed to
Yeah.
update it.
But we
And
need
then
to
that's what
do,
I'm saying.
Okay, so I thought,
Public Works was supposed to update it,
and he,
go out and review. They're not gonna do that unless you wanna pay them. But that's,
What they sent me,
that's
I
my
didn't get
understanding.
that, there's nothing there, they don't tell me anything.
we'll table that for next meeting.
well, yeah,
And then I'll
I,
get Justin to go over the list, then Melissa.
So one guidance to give
I
him,
don't-
No,
if we can confirm the tree is removed, delete it off the spreadsheet.
communicate
I
that
am, I'm
with
telling
Public
you.
Works.
Yes.
If we know for sure that that tree, as it says, is removed, get it off the thing.
Condense the list down.
Can they
What's
tell us
left.
where it's at, instead of these numbers, so these numbers have nothing to relate to.
About only the ones that are still either there,
Yeah,
right?
but.
Right.
We can come up with
Yeah.
a spot.
Yeah, I look at this and
Yeah.
those numbers doesn't tell me anything, where the trees are at or
Yeah.
what condition, it just.
right now, I agree with you as far as getting everything off the list that's gone. Let's just get it condensed to where we know exactly what we have left in this town. And then we'll go from there and see, okay, these are trees that need to be removed yet.
Yeah.
These are ones that are viable.
And I was in Parks and Rec last Tuesday and talked about removing a couple at the park, and they're against that at this point in time. As they're some of the more substantial trees. They wanna figure out a way to offset the shade. So
But
Amanda's
if
working
the
with,
DNR tells us that that is a critical tree that needs removed,
It's
Amanda's
gotta be removed.
up with that. She wants to have to try to get a schedule for the next 4 or 5
oh,
years.
dude, I'm not doing this like prolonged schedule.
No, I understand. But like I said, I wanna listen to what she says.
We're trying to identify what actually needs
Right,
to be
we're gonna
taken.
take the worst ones out first.
And then get them out.
We've gotta be down to like 3 years left. of pay. Something like
There's like
that.
12 trees.
We
left
treated
on this.
some, yeah,
That's
that's critical ones, but you gotta remember, some of the ones that we just said are good, they probably will be critical ones.
It's all under.
Because
well,
we
it's
also
under-
are not gonna.
You'd have to do one.
Inject.
Well,
I'm full, of roots, everything's come out and I'm full.
I don't,
It's gonna happen.
I'll have to get with Justin and we'll
Yeah, I
make a
don't
couple
have
phone
any, I don't
calls.
have any insurance to cover that.
No, I don't wanna do that either.
But I have to think, I don't know how deep those roots go and how much.
Well, depending on which
I
ones
pull
they-
them, The roots and all are coming out.
I mean, some of those, like the two in my yard are 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter, so they're not very deep. That's, yeah, the ones that they were replanted when they were divided in.
No, I don't want to bust cable. on it.
Nope,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor? All opposed?
What time is it? Mallory, what time you got?
7:37.